We have shit for poor people. Who buys our shit? I don't buy these products barely anymore. It's so healthy. Now that I know what the in it, even in a can of soup, I look at it, look at meat, bioengineered meat. I don't want to eat a piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer. You?
You heard that right. That was one of Campbell's vice president allegedly admitting that they're putting 3D printed chicken in the soup you feed your kids. My name is Nico Lagan, and I'm too conservative for the conservatives. My co-host, Rob Ambrose, not woke enough for the liberals. We are the political orphans. What the fuck, right? Like, what the hell? What the hell? Can't hear you, man. You're muted.
Sorry about that. Yeah,
yeah, man.
Yeah, if it's true, that's pretty fucked up. Certainly, it's relevant with with the latest news from the government looking to make labeling of cloned meat not necessary or no need to label them. So, we kind of have to keep our eyes open to this kind of stuff.
And that is exactly what I was thinking when I saw this, because this has been trending since yesterday. Like I'm a conspiracy theorist, so though people were on this yesterday or even the day before, but I'm like, let the story develop a bit, see if it makes sense, because as much as I'm a conspiracy theorist, I'm careful about what I put out there, because really easy to look like an idiot. Although we're batting 1,000, like we're batting really high right now. I still wanted to see and actually let it develop. But this morning when I found the video I just showed, like this is just a clip of the video I showed. I'm going to play the whole thing now, but it's considering that last week we were talking about how cloned meats is option, like the labeling on cloned meats is somewhat just an option. Like you don't have to. It's okay if you don't want to label it. We're okay with that.
And look, I don't even have an issue per se. I don't even have an issue if you want to eat cloned meats, that's fine. Just label it. I'm not even clamoring for them to like make it illegal or anything or ban it. Just label it so people know what the fuck they're eating.
Yeah. Oh, that's a valid point.
Too much of an ask.
No, I don't care if you want to eat that shit. I don't care. Eat plastic if that's what you want to eat. I don't care.
Exactly.
Give two shits. I don't care. But to not label it is problematic. Anybody that thinks it isn't, I got some water to sell you. Like you can't trust people that much. You just can't. Yeah. So let's get right into it. Here's the video that I found this morning as I was looking at my Instagram, and I was like, what the fuck are you actually saying here? But here is a mainstream media reporting on this, which kind of blew my mind, but here it is.
Former Campbell Soup Company employee is taking legal action against the food giant, and he's making some explosive allegations about one of its top executives. Good evening, and thanks for joining us at 6. I'm Ty Steele.
I'm Kimberly Gill. Those allegations are now at the center of a lawsuit claiming the company's vice president went on an hour-long tirade attacking the company's products and employees before taking aim at its customers.
And the former employee recorded it all. Eric Erickson shares that recording and what the company is saying about it.
We have shit for poor people. Who buys our shit?
And that's just part of an over an hour-long rant, says former security analyst for Campbell's, Robert Garza of Monroe.
I don't buy these products barely anymore. It's so healthy. Now that I know what the in it, even in a can of soup, I look at it, look at meat, bioengineered meat. I don't want to eat a piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer. You?
The recording allegedly of Campbell's VP and Chief Information Security Officer Martin Bally.
He has no filter.
Bally, along with another supervisor and Campbell Soup Company, named in a lawsuit filed Thursday. The suit claiming Bally made racist remarks, admits to coming to work high, and Garza.
So this is what's interesting, is that the suit is not really about that. It's not about the 3D printed meat or the alleged used of 3D printed meat. It's about this guy that you were seeing on the screen. We'll play him again. Mr. Garza, that guy, Mr. Garza, sorry. And coming forward for saying he got canned because he recorded this, but he didn't let people know. But supposedly that VP Martin Bally went on a racist tirade. He said a lot of bad words. He said a lot of stupid shit, like he gets to work high, and that was just part of it. This is what's insane, is that the alleged wording is that, yeah, I don't need that shit, but that was part of a rant. That was not, this is not what the legal suit is about. So I'm really, really curious to see how that develops, because right now there's no proof, right? Let's be clear here. This is one of the reasons why I took at least 24 hours since I've heard about it, because I wanted to take the time to research it. So I did do that today. I did a lot of research, and it's a big deal because even Campbell has replied to this. Because, you know, sometimes, often when it's just conspiracy theories, and I'm air quoting here, it's just conspiracy theories, the companies don't address it because in their head it's just like, why the fuck would I talk about this? Nobody cares. For the company itself to release an official statement trying to defend themselves, and here's the statement that they actually released today. So here is Campbell's answer. This is taken directly from their website. Here it is. They're defending themselves. Obviously they're saying that it's not true. The key insights, as you can see on your page right now, it says key insights: the chicken meat used in Campbell's soup comes from long trusted USDA approved US suppliers, and meat are highest quality standards. Campbell does not use 3D printed chicken, lab grown chicken, or any form of artificial or bioengineered meats in our soup. That is what they're saying. They say that they use the highest quality. Not only that, but they're trying to say that all of our Campbell's soups are made from non-antibiotic ever chicken meat, meaning we do not allow antibiotic to be used on our chicken. So they're defending themselves, but I never trust what people tell me. Obviously, I wouldn't be a good conspiracy theorist if I was. But as per, if you remember the video, the guy said that it's bioengineered. And do you know that that's a word that they actually use on certain labels? Like if you look at your ingredient list, you can find bioengineered. They don't tell you exactly what's bioengineered, and most of the time what is considered bioengineered is not necessarily the meat. It's like the crops, the corn, whatever vegetable that they used in there. But just to make sure I wasn't being led by conspiracy theories or Photoshop pictures, look, I went to the store today and I bought a can of Campbell's soup, something that garbage that I would never consume.
It's only
just for you guys,
for poor people.
Oh man, even then I would never eat this garbage. I would eat like black bean and rice. I've done that when I was poor, and guess what? I would eat that again. A lot better for you. But I went out, I got one of the cans because I wanted to see the ingredients. Is it true that there's the word bioengineered on this? And unfortunately, or fortunately for the people that eat Campbell's soup, there's no bioengineered word on there. So basically, ingredients are chicken broth, water, chicken stock, noodles, wheat flour, dried whole egg, seasoned chicken with the word soy in bracket right next to it. So seasoned chicken.
What does that mean?
Soy in bracket. Oh, I have the answer. Then salt, chicken fat, cornstarch, glutamate, onion powder, garlic powder, flavor. What the fuck is flavor? I love when they do that. It's flavors. Flavor, yeast extract, and beta carotene. So nothing about bioengineered chicken. But when I saw chicken with soy in brackets, I'm like, okay, is that one of those fake meat? It's just soy, but we pass it on as chicken. I asked Grok, I asked AI to tell me, because the answer, I thought it meant seasoned chicken with soy in bracket. I'm like, okay, it's soy shaped to look like chicken. But wheat. Did I forget wheat? No, I said wheat flour. No, I said wheat flour. Don't you stir the soul. If you're gonna say it, do not correct me, at least if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I gotta make sure.
Don't correct me when I'm right. But no, wheat flour is in there. So I looked, and as per Grok, the soy part is a declaration for soy protein, usually soy protein isolate or concentrate used as a seasoning / marinade. So it is not, supposedly, allegedly, it is not to say that the chicken itself is made out of soy, just the seasoning that they use on it is part of soy. It also said that no soy chicken or vague substitute. It explicitly means chicken seasoned with soy. Okay, cool. So we have an ex-employee that allegedly recorded one of their VPs at Campbell's saying that it was bioengineered 3D printed chicken, and that's why, obviously, that's food for poor people, as he said, and he's not going to eat that shit because obviously if he's a VP at Campbell, he ain't poor.
Yep.
We got Campbell releasing a statement saying that it is not true. Obviously, I don't think they ever want to admit that that is true. And even if it went to court, I guarantee you they would settle out of court in order for that information to never fucking come out. Because is there food that is more iconic than Campbell chicken soup? We all had that as kids, right?
Oh yeah.
I grew up in the 80s. This is just this was something that we could eat at home. It was okay back then. It was probably 4 or 5 ingredients, not 20 like today, but for sure they would never agree to admit that it is true. But the question that I automatically had after that is 3D chicken actually possible? Is 3D meat possible? Because, you know, I grew up watching Star Trek, man. I remember the guys would they would go to the restaurant, like to the canteen in the store and in the ship, sorry, and they're like, computer, can I have this? And pew, it would just appear. It very close to what 3D printing is today. Well, this is the fucked up part, because I had never really looked into 3D printed meats before, because it's not something I would ever fucking eat if you told me what it was.
Yeah.
But it turns out that the technology's out there. And we're not talking about new technology either. That's the part that kind of messes with my head. This is nothing new. Like, I found a couple of videos that we definitely need to watch. But the videos, the first one I'm going to show you is from 2020. So this video is more than 5 years old, what I'm going to show you, and it's right there on YouTube. So it's a company by the name, here's the first video was released at least in 2020. It's an Israeli company called Redefine Meats, where they show how they 3D print their bioengineered plant-based meat. And I got to ask the people out there, would you ever consider eating that? Like, just after seeing this video, tell me if you would agree to eat that shit.
Ooh, no, Jesus.
That looks like a Lego, man.
Yeah, that's nasty.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
No.
Yeah.
No. It's not even.
Yeah.
No. Fuck no.
But look at this. Does that look like regular
We
meat to
analyze
you?
the different components that
No, it's not
make
even
those
it's
beautiful
plant,
cuts
it's plant-based,
and try
like,
to figure
fake
out
meat,
which are
fake
the
meat.
key components that we need to mimic in order to achieve those beautiful cuts of meat.
Those
We
beautiful
identified
cuts
three
of
main
meat?
components: the muscle, the blood, and the fat. These are the components that we need to mimic in order to reach the perfect, beautiful steak.
Okay, one of the things, I gotta stop this video because it's not done yet, but look at this guy. Are you gonna take health advice from this scrawny, yellow-looking dude there? I'm sorry, bro, but I am not having you telling me what a good steak is.
No.
And especially look in the background. Look at what's in the. I didn't notice that the first time I watched it, but look on his desk in the background. You can see that there's oil there, and that's vegetable oil. You know, those are the containers of the nasty oil nobody should ever consume. You shouldn't eat that stuff. But this guy's telling us that they're able to make beautiful pieces of meat.
Yeah, I don't know, man. There's nothing beautiful about that.
Now, look at that.
That's hideous.
Would you eat that?
No, fuck no. No.
Look at
absolutely.
this. That looks like a beautiful piece of meat.
No, no, it does not.
It just... Hold on. They talk. Oh, there you go. That's the part I want.
Our technology can create whole muscle cuts just as a cow can produce that in a much more efficient way with a lower cost. And of course, it's much better for the environment. This is the biggest problem we face today as humanity.
Green energy?
And this
Oh,
is
you gotta-
the
you gotta
best
sneak
way
that in.
to fight climate change, to deliver healthier
Climate
solutions
change, of
and
course.
food to the entire population of the planet.
That's all that matters.
So that's the first video. Israeli company by the name of what was it? Redefined Meat. It's a great name, right?
I mean, and to be clear, like, as long as that's like, I would never touch that shit with a 10-foot pole. But as long as it's labeled, I don't have an issue with it. The big issue is you're, you know, if you're it's important. It's relevant to this story because it's showing that the technology is out there, right? They are 3D printing meat. And so when someone says Campbell's is doing this, and yeah, there's a comment here, I don't know who put it, but it's like anyone who's eaten Campbell's soup has wondered about the meat when they've seen these misshapen lumps of flesh. So you know, it's, even if it's actual chicken, like that ain't the prime cuts, man. That's like the fucking beak and the fucking claw. That's bad stuff.
You're eating hot dogs. You're eating chicken hot dogs.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But the part I wanted to make sure that I stress is that the company that we just looked at is called Redefined Meats, and they use soy. So the product, that trap that you saw there, is mostly soy that is shaped for the vegans out there that think that is meat, but that was soy. So to me, soy is not surprising because I knew that you could 3D print soy. I knew that because it's literally, it's disgusting. Like I was a vegan for a long time. I was a vegetarian for a long time. So guess what? I ate my fair share of soy. So I'm not surprised, but here's kind of where my mind got blown because the next company, there's another, again, it's another Israeli company, which is kind of weird that the two main companies that does 3D lab bioengineered printed meat are from Israel. But the second company is called Aleph Farm, Aleph Farms, but they are not using soy. They are using cells from cows. So we're really talking about lab grown meats here. You know. That freaks me out. That is fucked up if you ask me. This video, by the way, 2018. This is 7 years old. It blows my mind that it's been around for that long, but listen to this.
Aleph Farms are excited to announce a game-changing moment in cellular meat history. We're getting closer to our vision of creating a cellular steak, providing the experience, look, and feel of the steak we all know.
We've successfully produced the first pieces
Again.
of beef steak grown from natural cells without harming any animals. Meat is a complex tissue. This breakthrough includes various cell types found in conventional cuts of meat grown together outside the animal to form a 3D structure similar to meat, but using more sustainable, safe, and ethical methods. These first cell-based meat cuts demonstrate our capability of achieving our vision of growing steaks.
This meat had a great look and the original texture of a steak.
Finally,
No, it
meat
does not
you can
look like
enjoy
steak.
that's good for your health and the planet from Aleph Farms.
No, it does not have a great look.
So, so we have two Israeli company, one by the name of Redefined Meats, the other by the name of Aleph Farm, that is capable of printing meat, 3D printing meat. One is soy, the other one is literally lab-grown meat. It's science fiction to me, and you know that the first question I asked myself when I found those two companies is Brookfield involved? I had to do the research, I looked, and they are not. Right now, there's Brookfield is not involved with Redefined Meats.
There's one thing they're not
Aleph
involved
Farms.
in. One thing
But
they
I
don't
had
have
I had
a
to
finger in.
check. But I think this is worse. What I found by doing a bit of research on Aleph Farm, so I went to their website, and what I found is even worse. This is worse than Brookfield being part of it. So I was, hold on, let me bring up their website here. So I was, so I was on, there you go. So I was on their website. So here's the website. I'm just going to go back to the main page kind of. So I'm just looking around, right? Oh, I'm looking and blah, blah, blah. And by the way, they are endorsed by some real chefs. Like you probably, I don't know if you've ever been really in, I think it was here, because I've been a foodie for a long time. Like I've been to some of the best restaurants in North America just because I like food, and my ex was a massive fan. But I think it's in media. Some of the chefs, if you go to their website, some of the chefs are world known chefs. So they have really, really powerful people spreading their meats there, their fake meat or lab grown meat. But as I was looking under their media section where I am right now, look at this right here. WEF, World Economic Forum. So their website links directly to the WEF. So I think it's even worse than being subsidized by Brookfield. Accelerating the global transition to a bio-based economy, the strategic role of policy. That does not sound good at all. At all.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, hold on. Oh shit. I just noticed it opened a new window, so you guys didn't see. But here's the actual link. Here is the WEF. So that's what I was reading 2 seconds ago, just to show you I'm not a liar. Accelerating the global transition to a bio-based economy, the strategic role of policy. So yeah, fruit for thoughts for the people out there. So we have a scandal coming out saying that Campbell, one of the VPs at Campbell Soup, is saying that the meats that they use in their soup is for poor people. That's first. And then second, that he would never eat that shit because it is 3D printed, bioengineered fake meat. And considering that Health Canada got exposed for approving unlabeled clone meats, I found it very easy to believe that what we're seeing about Campbell might be right, might be true. We don't know that it is. We probably will never know because they, like I said before, they will fight that in court. They will never allow that information to go out. But is it that far-fetched to believe that it's true? Considering that we have clone meats, considering that we know the technology exists, is it that far-fetched that they're using it? I don't think so. I would not be surprised that 3D printed meat is already in our food supply. We just don't realize it.
Yeah, and if it is, it would have to be in something like Campbell soup. It couldn't be in like steaks. We would notice it, right? You'd be able to tell. Certainly, that monstrosity that we saw a few minutes ago was printed. Like, you're gonna know. But if it's just a few misshapen lumps in a soup or something, yeah, they could probably get away with it. I mean, it's certainly the technology exists. Clearly, the incentive exists for the companies to do this, and so it's still in the realm of conspiracy theory because it's not proven, but it's certainly worth looking into. You can't just dismiss it outright.
And that was why, again, I waited a little while. Like I waited at least 24 to 48 hours, do more research to see developments, but I could not find proof because it's an alleged leaked audio, but the technology is there. The possibility is there. And considering that Health Canada clearly does not care about not telling us that we could be eating cloned meats, it's not far-fetched to me, especially not as a conspiracy theorist. I'm like, oh yeah, it's here. I have no proof right now, but I know it's here. But at the same time, man, if you look, I think it was, I can't remember which one of the two, if it was Redefined Meats or Aleph Farm, but Leonardo DiCaprio was part of it. I don't know if you know this, but he's a massive climate change advocate. Like he's invested in one of the companies. And, like I said before, I was a vegan for 4 or 5 years and a vegetarian / vegan for almost 12. And I ate some of that shit, man. That fake meat that you don't really know what it is.
Oh, I've had the Beyond Meat.
Beyond Burger. Meat. Yes.
Yeah. It ain't good, man. It ain't good.
Diarrhea town. That I guarantee you. Every single time you eat that, you shit water like you ate Mexican food.
Oh yeah.
It feels the same coming out. It ain't good for you. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, the Beyond Meats is just oof.
Yeah.
Man. And I want to take this one outside looking in 84. You're absolutely right. This is not a left versus right issue. It is up and down. And the up is very high. Did you know that if you made 100,000, is it? No, $1 million a day for 27.4 years, you could become a billionaire if you didn't spend a dime. Oh, okay. I agree with the first part. The second part, I'm not sure. I understand the point, but I agree that this is not a left versus right issue. This is really a top versus bottom because I just, there's something that tells me, I have no proof, but there's something that tells me that Campbell got caught. That this is true, they're just denying it. They responded to this too fast. They responded
they already had it
way too fast.
They already had it ready to go.
Most companies just ignore it. Because, when it's just in the conspiracy theorist world, major companies don't give attention to that. They don't want to. Because if you address us, we'll go after you for saying exactly what I just said. If you address me, that means you're uncomfortable with what I'm saying. That means there's flame somewhere. There's fumes. There's something. There's something there. You're kind of proving that. What was the expression?
Where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yep, exactly. There's smoke.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, exactly.
Not looking good. Not looking good. But what do you guys think out there? Would you try it? Because that's a question I have for the people out there. Would you actually try this stuff? Because technically I have. I wouldn't do it anymore, but I have.
Oh yeah. I don't think that stuff is like it's a health risk if you're eating it regularly. But I think trying it, there's no harm in it. It's not going to harm you, but it's terrible. It's just terrible. And it's just, it's the big thing here. I think the big takeaway is, if you want to, whatever you want to sell to people, if they're willing to buy it, that's fine. But you got to label shit. You can't just slip engineered meats or cloned meats into the food supply without people knowing what they're buying and eating.
And I was I didn't show that video because after a while, just showing you videos after videos is kind of long, but there's a video out there where they were talking about bioengineered 3D chicken. And the guy that's talking about it is like, this is the greatest advancement. This is like the best thing ever. We finally have an evolution in the way that we cook our food, because there's a company that had developed a technology where as it's being printed, there's lasers hitting the meat and it's cooking the meat at the same time. So by the time the meat is done, it's cooked. So you don't even need to cook it. It's literally like Star Trek. It's just like you finish, like the product that is printed is lasered cooked, literally. And the guy's talking about this like it's the best thing on the planet. It's so good for us. But did you notice all the people in those videos, they do not look very healthy. They don't look like the type of guys I'm going to take health advices from.
No.
I just don't.
No.
But fruit for thoughts. It might exist already. You might eat it.
You might be eating
knowingly,
it.
unknowingly. But I can tell you, if it tastes like the Beyond Burger, if it tastes like that type of crap, it does not taste like meat at all. Doesn't look like it, doesn't taste like it, and definitely does not act on my stomach the same as meat either.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's definitely. Yeah, I wouldn't eat it. But again, I don't have an issue with it. Just make sure it's labeled. I mean, that's the big thing. What do we have? What do we have on the agenda next?
Well, hold on. Before we do, I got to speak about our official sponsor.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Gabble. Gabble. Wow. Problem with my voice. Gabble, the world's first live video debate app on the market. You can choose to sit back and watch and vote, actually. Vote for people. Decide who wins the debates, or if you have the ball, just jump in and debate. And I suggest that you guys do, because it's really low-key. It's really cool. All the people that I've met up to now are super polite. It's like, are you against or for it? Okay, I'm against it. Let's go. It's cool. So Gabble, check the description below. There's our affiliate link. And every single time you guys download, you encourage the show, because it is our sponsor after all. So I suggest you guys try it. It's a new app. Really cool to do.
So what's it? Can anybody just go and just start debating, or do they only you have to be some sort of a moderator or something to debate?
No. You download the app, you show up. The questions appear at 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. And you just show up. It starts appearing on your screen. It gives you two options. Do you want to just watch, or you want to participate? It's like join in. You click on watch, and then you can click on the topics that you want to see people debate on. You click on join. It will show you the same topics, and it will show you where there's people waiting to debate. So you just click on the topics that you want to debate. Somebody appears. You got 3-minute debate. And then the people watching and an AI referee, if you will, an AI judge will decide who the winner of the debate is. It's cool. I enjoy it. I really, really enjoy doing it. So, but I like to debate people. So,
well, yeah, sure. Yeah, I would.
It's fun to me. It's absolute. Yeah, surprise, right? So,
oh yeah.
As I always do.
It would be fun. I'm going to check that out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Just make sure to use our affiliate link. Make sure. I was, like I do every day, I scatter the intraweb to find what's going on. And earlier, I found a video of our Justice Minister, Sean Fraser. Because I don't know if you remember this, but he did say over the past few months, because he's the twat that put together, was it C8 or C9? C9. C9 is the one that he put together. Yep. This is him that came up with the bill about not being able to have certain symbols when you're protesting, or not be able to block access. Either way, censoring people while protesting. But here is a video that Sean Fraser released on his X earlier. And here's boom, and here's the caption. Protecting our kids against abuse and exploitation is an issue all parties can get behind. I'm seeing some colleagues demanding we take action before the holidays. Thankfully, I've confirmed repeatedly for the past several months that they can expect a bill before Christmas. Listen to this. Just want to make sure. Yeah,
there is a gap that has been left after the Senate bill decision. We're going to fill that gap, and we're going to do it very quickly.
Child abusers are heinous criminals and should be treated as such by Canada's criminal laws. We will be moving forward with legislative solutions.
So let me just pause this. He literally just said that. Let me read. Child abusers are heinous criminals and should be treated as such by Canada. I agree. 100% agree.
Yeah.
But do you remember that in the past few weeks, our Supreme Court has removed mandatory minimums for pedophiles caught with kiddie porn? They removed that. No more mandatory and unless you're an Indian,
Yeah. There's been
immigrant
several cases of Indian immigrants who have gotten lighter sentences, and the judge has said specifically they're giving a lighter sentence because if they gave the recommended sentence that they would normally give, it would affect their immigration status, which is absolutely absurd. These are exactly the people who you want to affect their immigration status. You want them to get the fuck out. It's insane.
Remember the Indian guy that got caught trying to buy sex from a 15-year-old? Turned out she wasn't 15 and she was a police officer. Got the case got dismissed. It was able to walk. Remember the dude, I think it was in BC, that got caught with child pornography on his laptop? It was a modest amount of child pornography. Yeah, there's no such thing as a modest. There's no such thing as a fucking modest amount. So let me replay the video because I kind of interrupted because I find it so much. It's so full. They're so full of shit to say that they're trying to protect children, yet everything that they seem to do is make it easier for pedophiles not to face jail time. It's absolutely ludicrous.
There is a gap that has been left after the Senate bill decision. We're going to fill that gap, and we're going to do it very quickly.
Child abusers are heinous criminals and should be treated as such by Canada's criminal laws. We will be moving forward with legislative solutions.
And legislation that I will be tabling before this House rises over the Christmas holidays to offer additional protections for children who are being exploited online.
And a third bill before Christmas regarding intimate partner violence, sexual offenses, and the role of victims in the process. There is a gap.
So, if you guys understand what he's talking about, he is referring, of course, to Bill C-63. There was an organization that was supposed to be protecting children. I think I still have their website open on my other laptop. Yeah, I have it here. There was a video released by Children First Canada, and one of their boards of director, Andrea Crisentu, had released a video last week imploring our government to do something, that it was unacceptable that our children weren't protected online. She was asking for Bill C-63 to be retabled. And if you forgot, Bill C-63 was what they called the Online Harms Act. And obviously they're going to change the name to something like Protecting Our Children Online Act. But all to say that it's confirmed once again, Sean Fraser, our Justice Minister, is telling us that there will be a tabling of a new online harms bill, so censorship bill, and it will be Bill C-63 or whatever the fuck number they give it to. But it seems that before Christmas, we will have another bill on the table. So Bill C2, C8, C9, and now Bill C-63 we can expect to see in the upcoming weeks.
Now, this isn't a new bill. This is just they're kind of kicking it into high gear, correct?
We'll see, because it hasn't been tabled, but Bill C-63 was already...
Oh, is that the one they had split up before? Or they had withdrawn some of it?
No, you're talking about C-12. So Bill C-2, the one that talks about the border, the one that talked about Canada Post being able to open your mail, no more buying of no more purchase above $10,000 cash. That wasn't legal anymore. That's the bill you're talking about. They tabled Bill C-12, which removed most of the problematics that we were seeing. But Bill C-63 is the bill that was going to prevent... Literally, Bill C-63 would turn Canada into the UK. What you're seeing in the UK, and you could literally spend if I'm not mistaken, and don't quote me on this, but you can spend at least 10 years in prison if it was not lifelong. But if you want to have a great breakdown of that bill, Jordan Peterson did an interview with a lawyer, Purdy is his last name. I can't remember what his first name is. It's either Purdy or Pardy, P-A-R-D-Y or P-U-R-D-Y. He breaks it down. He's a Canadian lawyer out of Toronto. That bill is scary. Like literally going to jail for tweets is what Bill C-63 is all about. And now Sean Fraser, by posting this video today, is pretty much telling us that it's coming.
And it's funny how he said, what is he saying? Like, we've heard from parents that really want us to get this done fast. No, man. There's nobody clamoring for this bill except for activists and zealots and ideologues. No normal person gives a shit. Nobody thinks that speech is violence. No normal person wants people to go to jail for mean tweets. But that's the road that we're heading. Just look at the UK if you don't think it can happen here, because it's already happened over there. People are going. People are actually getting arrested for mean tweets, for tweeting things that someone else finds offensive.
And I really hate the fact that they talk about how it's about protecting the children. That's not the job of the government. That's the job of the parents. I don't want the government to protect my boy. I will protect my boy. You don't want your kids to be on the internet, or you don't want them to be exposed to what's on the internet. Just make sure they're not on the internet. Or look at what they're doing, or install net nanny softwares that will prevent them from going to certain application, to certain website, and what they're doing on the cell phone that you pay for every single second of the day if you're worried about what's happening on the internet. But it is not up to the government to protect us, to protect our children. This is our fucking responsibility as parents, not theirs.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll disagree a little bit. I think there is a role for the government to play in protecting children, but not in this way. Not like this. If a parent is beating the shit out of their child and they're going to school every day with cuts and bruises, the government has a role to step in there. But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about, I agree that the kind of protection you're talking about, protection from not seeing or from seeing things that might not be good for them, that is not the government's job. That is the parent's job.
The judiciary. Yeah. So you want the government to take care of the court, to have a system of law that we agree with, and then to enforce those laws in the justice system. Yeah. That is the role of the government. 100,000 million %.
Yep. Yeah.
But not for them to censor the internet.
Yes, to censor me. To decide what a kids can and can't watch, what they can and can't see. That, I agree, is a parent's job.
Because even right now, I don't know if you know this, but we were talking about how places like CTV, for example, their account on X is based out of the US. Did you know that? Go to their Instagram page right now, type CTV on Instagram, go to their webpage, and you cannot access them. You're not able to access it. No, you cannot.
Access what?
Because
CTV?
Their web. Yep, you cannot access CTV's Instagram account. They know it, and they even have a caption. Like, I'll bring it up. This is what happens when you have the government trying to protect you. Here is, I'm just bringing it up right now. There we go. So I have it right in front of me. I'll show you guys. Like, I've known this for a while because there's a lot of web page that I can't, or a lot of pages that I can't access on Instagram. I can access them when I'm in the US, but not when I'm in Canada. But here is CTV News. Really? Like, this is their main page on Instagram. It literally says, discover the best new photo and videos. We are right here, Canada's most watched.
People in Canada can't see this content.
So CTV News,
it's a Canadian news.
Millions.
It's Canadian news.
They receive hundreds of millions of dollars every year from taxpayers' money. So you know, I was wondering when I first saw
crazy.
that why. But I was wondering why that was the case. Do you understand now? Is because their page is not ran from Canada. It's ran through the US, like the X account is showing. That's why it's being blocked, because you have to look at Bill C-18 that the Justin Trudeau government put in place in 2023, which I don't know if you remember this, but it was about the news. He wanted Meta to pay news producers news producers in Canada like CTV, CBC. He wanted the Meta to pay them revenue of their ads for their content, to say, we create the content, you share it, you make money sharing our content, we want to make some of that money back. And it was brilliant when you think about it, because he knew full well that Meta would never share. So what did Meta do instead of paying them? Said, fuck you, I'm not sharing your content anymore. That's why it's hard outside of Canada to see. I can't see all the content that comes out of Canada when I'm in the US. And when I'm in Canada, I can't see all the content that I follow from the US, because through that bill, Meta has blocked access in response. That's why it says, in response to Canadian government legislation, news content can't be viewed in Canada. So CTV News, a company that takes millions of dollars of tax money in order to survive, we can't even see their news in Canada. So this is what happens. Is that what you want? That's what happens when the government takes care of something.
That's wild.
You end up getting censored. And that's what Bill C-63 is going to be all about. Preventing what you can and cannot say, or controlling what you can and cannot say online. And guess what? If they don't like you, you're looking at least 10 years. You could be facing more than 10 years. And I'm going to check it out. I'm going to research it again, because I'm pretty sure that Bill C-63 had a lifelong possibility of imprisonment, depending on what you were saying. Take a few of the comments. I'm going to see if I can find it.
Yeah, the outside looking in 84 says mob rule has taken over our government. Nepotism runs on high. You have the options for suction for people making rules approved by the king. All Commonwealth. Yeah. I mean, I get it. I think. I mean, this is the way. I gotta be honest. I've never thought the king thing. I always thought it was stupid. I think we should cut ties with the monarchy. But I mean, that's the way we've always done it. You know, they have to. It's like the king has any real power here in Canada. It's all symbolic power. When I joined the military in 2002, you swear allegiance to the queen. Well, it was the queen at the time. You know, I'm certainly open to the argument that there is a behind the scenes powers that are pulling strings, but I don't think it's a British monarchy. I think maybe something else. The British monarchy is just a bunch of fucking inbred retards. They're just, they're all just there to smile and wave and do photo shots. There's no real power there.
Yet all the countries under the Commonwealth report to the king. The king is our leader. No matter what,
it's symbolic. Like he doesn't have any real say or power here.
Of course he does. He is the leader of the Commonwealth, and the Canada, like Australia, like UK, is part of the Commonwealth. So you're literally looking at a king.
But he doesn't have real power. Of course, he can't change laws. He can't give us laws.
Of course
he can't do anything like that. No,
of course he could. Of course he can. He just does. Of course he could. What the fuck are you talking about? Of course he could. That's the whole point.
He never has ever. He can't though. That's not the way.
So basically,
it's a symbolic connection to the past.
No,
it's not. Yes.
There's a crown. No, there's crown ascent.
Yes,
it's the same thing as saying,
and it always gets signed. He signs,
but it doesn't. No.
Given in front of him, he can't say no. He doesn't.
Of course he could.
No,
of course he could.
He does not.
he does have the power. For you to say that he doesn't have the power is absolutely false. He has that power. The fact that he doesn't do it doesn't mean that
the Crown has never done it.
That doesn't mean anything. That means that, like Bill C-63, because there's life imprisonment if you're found guilty of a standalone hate crime based on race, nationality, ethnic origin, language, color, religion, sex, age, or mental, physical disability. So there's life imprisonment. People argue, oh yeah, but that's never going to happen. Nobody's ever going to get life imprisonment for doing a hate crime based on race. So why the fuck is it in the bill? It applies exactly to what you're saying. But hold on.
Concerned about this isn't a real thing to be concerned about.
Of course, but of course it is. He can because he hasn't. On this.
But it's just a symbolic link to the past. It's not a real thing.
You cannot but we cannot agree to disagree. We can agree to disagree if he's ever going to use that power, but to say that the power is not there is actually false. The power is there.
If he
the fact that he's never used it,
it would cause a massive constitutional crisis, and no one would listen to him.
But it doesn't matter because he could. That's not the point. We're not talking about the
effect. He wants, but it wouldn't have any power. It wouldn't do anything here in Canada.
But of course it does. We report to the leader of the Commonwealth, which is the king. It was the queen before, now it's the king. So technically he could. The fact that he doesn't do it or hasn't done it publicly doesn't mean that he cannot. It's the same thing as having a bill saying that you could face life imprisonment for hate speech. The fact that you can tell me it would never happen, no judge would ever give life imprisonment to somebody that passed a xenophobic comment, doesn't mean that it's not in the legislation. Those are two different things. Technically it is something that he can do, just like it was possible under Bill C-63 to get life imprisonment for hate speech motivated by, let's say, racism. So the fact that he's never done it,
there's more important things to worry about. I don't think this is ever actually going to be an issue.
It's a symbolic
coincidence
that it's a coincidence that Australia's down the drain, that they're seeing censorship left, right, and center, that they've been disarmed. Same thing happened in the UK.
That's what I mean.
Now it's happening in the UK.
Because you're right. Australia is down the the entire West is down the drain. And if we're just chasing things that don't matter, that aren't relevant, like, it's not because of a connection to the royal family. That's just not.
So you think it's a coincidence that Australia, the UK, and Canada are going down the same path, and we're all under the
US. So's the rest of Europe. It's the Western world. It's not the Commonwealth. It's not the
US.
UK.
But the US is possible to change. We cannot change unless. Yeah. But that's the difference. The US is separate from the Commonwealth. They don't report to the king. That's what their War of Independence was all about. They're technically independent. Now, are they or not? That's a different question. But technically, they are independent. We are not. We are still under the king now, but the queen for my whole life.
Well, when you say
that's why we pledge allegiance to them.
I understand. It's everywhere you look, right? It's on the money. It's on the declarations. But this is all symbolic. It's not real power. Like the king.
But it's not. No. It's not symbolic. Stop saying it's symbolic. It's not symbolic. He has power. The fact that he doesn't use it doesn't mean he doesn't have it. There's a difference between the two. It's like saying I can't.
I don't know where you think he's getting this power.
He is the leader of the Commonwealth, so the country.
I mean, if you look at, I don't know if you trust Grok or AI, but the king has no real power in Canada. His role is largely symbolic.
Largely symbolic.
Yeah, the thing is, there's real things to worry about. Like all these places are going down the shitter. Agreed, but it ain't because of a connection to the monarchy. I think it's because of. Now I saw someone here in the comments say it's the bankers or something. Yeah, now that I could believe. And maybe the bankers, maybe if you want to say that the monarchy is working through the bankers, yeah, maybe. But it's I think we're barking up the wrong tree when we focus on just a few words in a declaration or on a.
But we're not. But it's not just a few words. It's everywhere. We're not barking up the wrong tree because Canada should be independent. If you believe that Canada should be its own
I
country,
agree. I agree with all that. I've always thought it was.
But it isn't.
I've always thought that.
But we're not barking up the wrong tree. This is one of the first things that we should do is have an independence from the UK, from the king altogether. We should not be part of the Commonwealth. The reason, why do you think fucking Mark Carney's sucking his dick every chance he gets? Why do you think he's spending most of his fucking time? Mark Carney is not an idiot. Do not underestimate Mark Carney. He's not a moron.
Mark Carney uniquely has a hard-on for the UK and is a Europhile. The other Canadian prime ministers were not necessarily nearly as Europe or UK connected.
But that is why.
I mean, the King of England doesn't even have power in England. He doesn't even have power in the UK. He can't change laws. He can't make laws. He can't do anything. He's a figurehead. He's just there to smile and sign papers.
The country reports to him under the Commonwealth. They still have a government that has its own selected leaders. But at the end of the day, all the countries under the Commonwealth report to the king, to whoever the royal is.
What do you mean? Maybe
he is the leader.
Maybe he gets a report, but he has no say in what happened. He makes no decisions.
He is the leader of the Commonwealth. Plain and simple.
Yeah, and the Commonwealth is a symbolic, meaningless organization that doesn't have any real power, doesn't make any laws.
No, it does not. I mean, look, it is not symbolic.
It is,
you know what? I'll find a lower. No, but it is not, because you don't understand what it actually means. Doesn't mean that it is. That's why I use the example of Bill C-63. Why put a lifelong sentence in something if a judge will never give that? It's the same thing. You call it symbolic, maybe because they haven't publicly used their power. That doesn't mean that the power is not there for them to use.
But again,
those are two completely different things.
Power in the UK.
But of course he does.
No power in the UK. How could he have power in Canada?
He has the Governor General that represents him
Governor General
in Canada.
Has no power in Canada either. The Governor General is a figurehead. The Governor General does nothing. The Governor General
except approve every single.
The Governor General has to sign every bill to make it law, and yet he has no ability, no power to not sign that bill. He will never, ever, ever not sign that bill.
Of course,
the second he does not sign a bill given to him, this entire country will blow the fuck up.
You literally just contradicted yourself. Your own comment contradicted yourself.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, because you're saying that he wouldn't.
Mean?
It is not symbolic. You literally admitted to the fact
to not sign the bill. Then it is.
But
symbolic.
he does. But he does have the ability. Of course he does.
Sign that bill.
Of course he does. Of course he does. So why is he? Of course he does. Why would his signature be needed if he didn't have that power?
Symbolic sign.
Why? Oh, come on, man. Come on, bro. Come on. You know what?
Refuse to sign a bill. But no, the Governor General cannot refuse to sign a bill.
Of course they can. The fact that they don't do it doesn't mean they can't.
This because you want it, that's fine. But I'm talking about like real life.
No,
I've been in the military.
Again,
I've said, I guarantee you, there's no fucking British. There's no British people giving orders.
They don't need to. He gives orders from London. He gives orders from the UK. He doesn't need to give orders here.
What? What orders does he give? He can't even give orders in the UK.
Man, it's not complicated to understand. You know what? I'll try to find an expert, hopefully a constitutional lawyer, to come on the show and explain to you how the Commonwealth works.
And ask them if the Governor General has any real power.
No, you can ask him that question.
To not sign a bill, then he's got no real power. He does not have that ability to not sign a bill. He is required to sign everything put in front of him.
Man, brother, it makes no sense what you're saying. You're literally contradicting your own comment in the same sentence.
In what way?
I don't know how simpler I can explain it to you outside of saying, why would that person be there and why would they need their signature
if they had? It is a tradition. It's tradition.
That is what you believe. But that is what you believe. But it's plain and simple that as per our system of law, it needs the assent from the Governor General, which is the representative of the King right now in Canada. It needs their assent.
If it needs assent, and yet the Governor General cannot refuse to give that assent, then it is symbolic. He cannot refuse to give that assent. It is not part of the structure. He cannot. And if he does, if he ever did, the government would collapse, and then we could be rid of the military, or sorry, the monarchy. And I agree, we should. I just think it's stupid. It's bad. It's anti-nationalist. It's bad for Canadian pride and patriotism to have this leftover hangover from the monarchy. But in terms of actual power, it's irrelevant.
It wouldn't be there if he didn't have the power to refuse. The fact that he doesn't,
well, sure it would be.
Or she
Things
doesn't,
are there all the time that are just tradition, that are just from that's like saying, why do people do communion if they're not really drinking Jesus' blood? If they're not really eating Jesus' body, why do it? Because it's a symbolic tradition from the past. Humans do that shit all the time.
Man, we're not going to continue arguing for another 20 minutes.
You have to at least find one case where it's ever happened. Ever.
But that is such but that's a fallacy.
But in 100 plus years, or 150 years, it's never happened. And the second that it did, government would collapse because there'd be such a crisis. It's not anything to worry about. It's a pointless use of energy when there's actual problems that we need to push back against.
The fact that so I'll try to simplify it with an example that I tried to use before, but I'll try to hammer it better.
Sure.
Why are you worried that a bill like Bill C-63 would have life imprisonment as a possibility?
That's different.
No, it's not. Let me finish.
That's not symbolic. That's not symbolic. That's real.
Let me finish.
Okay.
So a bill like Bill C-63 could give you life imprisonment for hate speech. Sure. That's in the bill. But if you have the government tell you that this would never be used, and this bill is signed, and for the next 10 years, it's never used, does that mean that the threat is not there because it's never been used?
No, but I mean, this is if it hasn't been used in 150 years, there might be some validity to that.
But that's irrelevant. The fact that it is still part of our Constitution, that is still how our laws, our bills become laws, is by needing the assent of the King's representative or the Queen's representative in the country, like Canada, the UK, Australia, is the same thing. The fact that they never refused to just sign the paper that's handed to them doesn't mean that they cannot refuse. And the fact that
if they did, then it would be great if they did, because then we just get rid of the monarchy once and for all. So,
but you're making my point. You're literally making my point. The fact that they haven't refused doesn't mean that they couldn't. The consequences of them refusing is irrelevant. We could burn the fucking country down if that ever happened. I'm not saying that we should, but the point is irrelevant. It's either they have the power to do it, or they don't have the power to do it. The fact that they never used it doesn't mean they don't have the power. That's why I'm comparing it to like Bill C-63. Because you could tell me that it will never be used, but why would it be there? The fact that they won't use it, they wouldn't use it for a decade, doesn't mean that they can't. It just means they're not using it. But if shit hits the fan, who knows what could happen? This is the point I'm trying to make.
I don't think it's the exact same as the bill, because the thing is, when you say why is it there, it's there because it was there 150 or 200 years ago when it actually was used, but it's not anymore. Now, if they put that in the law now, then I would be like, okay, why the fuck are you doing this? If you're putting something in the law right now, then it does stand to reason that you're going to use it. But if something just exists on the books because it was there 200 years ago, but in practice had never been used, and there is no scenario where it likely would be. Maybe like theoretically, maybe it's possible. I just think it's not the best use of our energy. It isn't because it isn't the cause of why everything has gone to shit. Because why has Europe gone to shit? Why has even the U.S. It's woke bullshit. It's not because of the King of England pulling strings behind the scenes. The guy's a fucking idiot. He all he does is he's there for, like I said, he doesn't have power in the UK. He's there to take pictures and glad hand and smile, and that is what it is. But I just think it's if it's better to spend our energy on the actual problems.
It is so you don't. We'll end it on this because I don't think there's any point arguing more about this. But you don't think it's a problem that the country in which you live is not independent for themselves?
Well, no. I don't like it, like I said, but I think there's 10 or 15 or 20 or 25 or 50 bigger problems that probably need to be. It's not like I'm defending the monarchy. If someone wants to get rid of it, yeah, I'm all for it. I just, we only have a finite amount of energy to invest in solving issues, and I just don't think that's the best use of our time.
To me, that should be one of the number one things we do, is to remove the monarchy.
Do you think that would solve? Okay, put it this way. Let's say we had, let's say 30 years ago, we cut ties with the monarchy and got our own constitution. I think we'd be in the exact same position as we are right now. I don't think anything would be different.
No, but that's not the point. I'm not saying that no, but hold on. But again, those are false equivalencies that you're using.
If it's not going to make a difference, then what?
Hold on. The point I'm trying to make is that in order for Canada to be the ultimate decider in our destiny, yes, we need to have the proper leaders, no questions about it. But don't you agree that the first thing that we need to have is the independence? Look at the US. US, but that's my point. We don't have that. So what's the point of having, let's say that I believe that elections mattered. Obviously I don't, but let's say that I did. What would it matter? What does it matter that we elect our leaders when on paper they swear allegiance to the leader of the Commonwealth, that is the king? They don't swear allegiance to Canada. They swear allegiance to the king. You even said so when you were in the military. You swore allegiance to the leader of the Commonwealth, which was the queen back then. I still can't process the king part because my whole life it was a queen. But all to say that, don't you think that do you not see how representative it is to say, I'm not even independent, Canada's not even independent of the king? You can argue all you want that it's symbolic, that the power's never used. But that's my point. Why do you think that one of the first things that the Americans needed to do is they needed to separate from the UK, from England, to start their own laws, to be independent? That's one of the first things that they needed to do in order to build the country that they built, like it or not. That was still one of the first steps, was to become independent from the UK, from England. That's the same thing that we need to do. Even if it seems symbolic to people, we should still be the main leaders of our destiny. Every country out there should be their own fucking country.
I agree with that. I agree, and I agree with that. And like I said, I'd like to see us cut ties to the monarchy for reasons of, patriotism, and as you say, to sort of have that feeling of we're in charge of our own destiny. I don't think that the King of England is sitting out there literally calling the shots here in Canada, telling them what to do and what not to do, and I just don't think that's happening. And it's fine. It's okay if I don't think that's happening. Like the sun will still rise tomorrow. The world will keep spinning.
But that's not the point. The fact that they're doing it or not is irrelevant. The fact that they have the power to, even if they don't use it, is where the problem lies. That's where my problem is.
And like I agree with you. Like I said, I would like to cut ties with the monarchy, for sure.
We can both.
Do I think it's the biggest issue facing us? No.
But you also think that you don't think that one of the biggest things that we can do is to be independent. Because this, to me, is one of the first steps is to be independent from... Look at what's going on in Alberta, being the perfect example about what's going on in Canada, right? Alberta, a lot of people in Alberta want to separate. They want to become independent to be able to take their own decisions because they've been handcuffed.
Well, that's because they're not actually making their own decisions. Here in Canada, we're making our own decisions. We're fucking this up on our own. We're not. It doesn't need the King of England to be fucking shit up for us.
But that's not but that's not the point. The fact that they don't use the power, or they don't seem to use the power publicly, doesn't change the fact that they could. Or maybe they do behind closed doors. You know what? There's a lot of people that believe that he does behind closed doors, but let's stick to what we can prove. On paper, he has that power. We can agree to disagree if he does it or not, but the power is still there.
Yeah, I mean, on paper, yeah, sure. I'm just in practice, and in he doesn't. But if the argument is we should cut ties to the UK and just completely take our independence, then I agree with that. Then I have no issue with that whatsoever.
Well, there you go. We can agree on that part.
Yes, absolutely. And guys, we will put a pin in there. Went for a few minutes longer, but excellent chat, excellent debate there. That's what the show's all about: is finding some piece of common ground at the end and having a respectful disagreement until we get there. But
I just want. I'm sorry to cut you off, but that's all I wanted to say. Is that that's the main goal of the show? If it's the first time joining, this is the point. Rob and I get into it every now and then. We get into it with the conversation, with the comments. But at the end of the day, the fact that you're left, that you're right, is irrelevant. Agree or disagree with us doesn't matter. The whole point is to have the civil discourse, that conversation that they don't want us to have, because the problem at the end of the day is not left versus right. It is top versus bottom.
100%. Couldn't agree more. Guys, as Nico said, this is what the show's all about. If you are new and tuning in and you want to support the show, please consider becoming a member. You can do that through YouTube for the low price of $2.99 per month. And you can also support the show just by coming back and sending the comments to us, agree with us, disagree with us, as long as they show up. We'll be that's all we care about. We will catch you tomorrow night, same time, same channel. Peace.
Bye-bye.